October came in timidly this year. For a while, it felt like summer just didn't want to let go. The air stayed warm, the leaves held tight to their green, but lately the mornings have turned crisp, and there's that quiet hush that only autumn seems to bring. The trees are beginning to blush with color, the sunlight feels softer, and suddenly home feels like the coziest place to be. It's the season for baking something sweet, lighting a candle, pulling out the knitting, and letting creativity flow in slower, more intentional ways. I've been easing into this new rhythm, tidying up little corners of home, working on a few fall projects, and just soaking in the gentle beauty of October. So pour yourself a warm drink, settle in, and spend some cozy fall days with me. A little bit of homemaking, a lot of creating, and finding joy in the simple things in life. I purchased a couple pots of sedum last year at the end of the summer when it was on clearance at our local nursery. And so this summer was the first time I was able to harvest it. I love having plants in my landscaping that I can dry and bring in to just bring beauty, natural beauty, to our home during the gray, dark winter months. I've been giving most of my knitting attention to my Drama sweater, which is a beautiful pattern by Jennifer Stein-Gass. I love this pattern. This is my third time making it, and I think this color combination is my favorite yet. I always get really excited at the transition of seasons, mostly summer into fall and then spring into summer. Just getting into the kitchen and making warm, comforting, yummy fall meals. There's also quite a bit of things to be done in the garden, and I honestly have been putting that off. I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed with the garden this year. I did get out and save some zinnia seeds because I had some really beautiful zinnias this year, and I wanted to save them for next year. My dahlias are still gorgeous. This, I think, was the best dahlia year yet. I also have some plans to do a little bit of embroidery this fall. I'm still trying to get those plans figured out for sure. A full box of embroidery floss makes me feel so very happy. Another project that I'm really excited about starting is actually painting the window frame around my kitchen window. It's been white for as long as we've had this trim, and I wanted to do something blue, and I decided to go with this Dutch tile blue by Sherwin-Williams. I have yet to start this project, but it will happen soon. As the weather's getting cooler and I've been settling in with my fall projects, I've really been in the mood to try some new creative things. And that's why I'm so excited to partner with Creative Crochet Corner for today's video. Creative Crochet Corner is the go-to online resource for crochet lovers of all skill levels, whether you're just picking up a hook for the first time or you've been crocheting for years. They have thousands of step-by-step videos, projects, and downloadable patterns and guides, all designed to keep you learning and inspired. I recently watched a live stream video with Brenda KB Anderson called Hanging Garden, and I made the sweetest little crocheted plant hanger. It turned out so cute, and honestly, I think these would make the perfect handmade gift for friends this holiday season. Creative Crochet Corner has a wonderful offer for the viewers of my podcast. You can head to the link down below in the video description to get your first full year of Creative Crochet Corner Premium membership for only $1.49. This offer is valid for new members only. I want to extend a big thank you to Creative Crochet Corner for sponsoring today's video and for helping makers like us stay creative and inspired all year long. During a break in the rain, I went ahead and went out to the garden, and I wanted to bring in some dahlias because I knew we were going to be getting a frost the next morning, so I wanted to save some of these beautiful flowers. As I said, this has been my best year ever for dahlias. I think next year I'm just going to plant all flowers. I'm not even going to worry about tomatoes or peppers. We did end up getting that frost, but miraculously, my dahlias were absolutely fine and they are still going strong. I also have quite a bit of holy basil that I harvested, and this is my second harvest of the season. I dry this in my dehydrator and then I use it for tea. It's really great for you, full of antioxidants. I feel so thankful to have such an abundance of fresh flowers during the summer and early fall. I know that I'm absolutely going to miss these in the winter, and I always have such a hard time buying flower bouquets from the store because I know that I can grow them myself in the summer. There's just something so wonderful about having a vase of fresh flowers on your kitchen table. Okay, time for a try on of my Drama sweater. I am so excited to try this on. And you know what? I haven't gotten the sleeves done yet, but I just want to do a body fit, and I think it's pretty much perfect. It will grow a little bit when I block it, and I think it'll be exactly how I want it to be. I am so very happy with how this has turned out. I love when it turns out right. It's October 11th. It's like, I don't know, quarter till 10. And that means that it is the first day of the PA Sheep and Wool Festival, which is really not that far from where I live. So I am actually in the car and I'm going to be heading there. And I've been really excited. My friend Jody from Flower Hill Fleeces is going to be a vendor there, and I know there's a couple of other people that I'm excited to see. So I'm going to take you along with me today. Welcome to my back deck. It is Sunday. It's October 12th, the day after I went to PA Sheep and Wool Festival, although it is still going on today until about 4, but I went yesterday and I thought I would just come on and share with you what I got. I didn't go crazy. Everything I purchased is in this little bag. I think more than the purchases, I very honestly was quite exhausted at the end of the day. I got there at 10 and I stayed until 3. So I stayed almost the entire time. And I think my favorite part was getting to meet, I had a wonderful time looking at all the yarn and speaking to the vendors and making a couple of purchases, but I really enjoyed getting to meet some of my viewers. It's weird and it's also really cool at the same time. But that was my favorite part of the festival. And then, of course, the benefit also was being able to walk around and look at so much lovely yarn and notions and other things that were there. And the sheep, of course. So I want to show you what I purchased. I did not get much. I got 3 skeins of yarn. And, well, I'm just going to show you. My very first purchase was actually, they were candles. So not knitting related really at all, other than the fact that I do like to knit with a candle lit. But my friend who is my friend in real life now, but we originally met online, her name is Bonnie, and she is kind of in the same area as me. I think she's like an hour and a half from me. But she has a farm. I will link her Instagram account, and she also has a YouTube channel here. And she uses her beeswax to make candles. So let me grab the little votives that I bought and I will show you. I got like the little tiny pillar. I got 3 of these. And then I got 3 of the, is this called a skep? I think that's the terminology, the bee terminology. I got 3 of these. And then Bonnie had also gifted me a little bag with tea and some really yummy gluten-free cookies. And she put one of these in there as well for me. So I have 7 total. I'm going to burn one. Oops, that was from Tilly. Tilly's sitting down below here. She's always with me. But I'm really excited to burn a beeswax, handmade, hand-poured beeswax candle. And the rest I bought. Well, I might keep one other one, and then most of them are going to be given as gifts at Christmas time this year. So that was my very first purchase. And then I purchased some buttons. I forget the name of this particular vendor. So her main thing that she was selling were these hand knit stuffed animals, like stuffies, like really, really cute. But I needed buttons, and she had a whole shoebox full of buttons, and they were very, very reasonably priced. I paid $5 per bag. So I got these. They're like a greenish. The lighting's not the greatest right now. Let me see if I can move this. I don't know that really helped, but so I got these, and then these are more of a turquoisey color. And then the last set of buttons I bought are these, and I bought these for my smoke show. The vest pattern, sorry, I'm so tired today. The vest pattern that I'm going to be casting on, the one I just shared in my most recent episode about the 10 different vests that I loved. It's the Thea Coleman pattern called Smoke Show, and I thought these buttons would be perfect for that. My last purchase was from Dusty Tree Dye Works. She also sells soap, which her business for that is just under, I think, Dusty Tree Soaps, maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, I went to her booth. Her name is Rebecca. She actually watches my podcast, and I had met her at the Fayette County Fair when I went with my friend Jody from Flower Hill Fleeces back in, I think it was the spring. It's amazing how fast these last several months have gone, but I had met her there, and she had introduced herself to me. When I went to Rebecca's booth for yesterday, she does beautifully dyed yarn, all different bases, different weights. Very subtle, so really pretty colors, but more subtle coloring, which is very, I like that. So I ended up getting 2 skeins of her non-superwash base, which I think the name of this base is called Root. It's 100% Australian Merino non-superwash. I got 2 skeins of it. The lighting just is not working out here. I'm sorry, guys. Can you see that? Okay, and so what I'm going to do with this is actually knit a shawl of a pattern that she actually wrote herself. So she has, I didn't realize this, but she is also a designer. She has several shawl designs, a hat design, and a sweater design. And I think the sweater and the hat design are both free on Ravelry. But this particular shawl, this is a paid for pattern, but it is called Murmured in Dreams. I think I'm gonna have to pause because my dog is being very noisy right now. Murmured in Dreams, Rebecca Shepler. this is a fingering weight pattern, and it's meant to be used with 2 different colors of yarn. But I mean, it's written for fingering weight, but honestly, you could probably do it in any gauge. It's just going to change the size of your shawl. I'm going to put a picture up here for you to see. But I purchased, she actually had given me the pattern, like a QR code to have the pattern for free. And then I picked up these 2 skeins of yarn to make it in. I think these are so fallish. This one is called Tree Canopy, and it's like cooler greens. It has a little bit of warmth to it, but it's mostly a cooler green. And then this one is November Walk. But this particular shawl is a mosaic shawl. It's a triangular shaped. So from what I was reading on Ravelry, you start with like a garter tab and then it grows from there. So you're working from the top down to the point. And I'm really excited. I want to actually get this made into cakes, yarn cakes today, so that I can get started on it, because I just feel like this would be a really good project to work on right now. It's feeling very autumnal here. It's been chilly. I mean, I'm outside in this big, heavy sweater. We had a couple of mornings of frost this past week, so it was in the low 30s. So fall has definitely arrived here in Western Pennsylvania, and these colors are just, I think this is going to be beautiful. I had thought about going with something a little less contrast, so doing like this green with, she had also had like a really pretty blue color, but then I decided I wanted a high contrast shawl. So this will definitely be more high contrast than the other colors I was looking at. But yeah, I'm going to probably get these caked up today because I have time to do that today. And then the other thing that I purchased was a skein of Jody's yarn of Flower Hill Fleeces. That's her tag. And this is called Homegrown Brothers and Sisters. This is a DK weight. Fiber is Shetland. It has 200 yards. Let me see if I can maybe turn up the brightness just a bit. Yeah. So the reason I got this yesterday, and only 1 skein of it, is because I'm going to cast on the new pattern by Tori Knits. The name of that pattern escapes me right now, but it is a bandana shawl, and it is knit with 2 different colors, and it is written for, I'm pretty sure she wrote it to be like hand spun yarn friendly. And I think I read that on there. But anyway, I have a whole shelf filled with hand spun yarn. And yet I've only ever made like 2 projects ever with my hand spun. So I just kind of, there's 2 reasons for that. One, I kind of freeze because I'm like, well, I need to pick a really special project to use my hand spun, because making yarn is a lot of work. And then I think the other thing about that is most of the hand spun that I have is just like single skeins of it. I do have 1 sweater's quantity spun up, and then I have a couple other I have probably 2 skeins, so maybe 500 yards total. Which it wouldn't be enough for a sweater, but it would be enough for like a shawl. But I just haven't, I knit a hat, and I knit a shawl for my daughter when she was young. And those are the only 2 projects I've ever done with my hand spun yarn. So I'm going to put the picture of this pattern up here. Again, I don't remember the name, but I will link it down below as well. And this is what I bought Jody's yarn for. So I'm going to use this as my main color, and then pick one of my hand spun skeins to do as like the contrast color. Yes. So anyway, that is my plan. That's what I'm going to do this Sunday afternoon. I'm going to take all of these skeins and I'm going to turn them into little cakes, and maybe I'll even cast them on. So I had a great time. And I have a funny little story to tell. So some of my viewers came up and introduced themselves to me yesterday, which was really lovely and wonderful. And like I said, that was like my favorite part, getting to meet people in real life. And then I got home and pretty much just crashed the rest of the evening. But I got a notification on Instagram. I think it was this morning when I got up. I had a notification that someone had left a message on one of my posts from like a couple posts back here on Instagram. And so I went and read it, and it was from a woman named Gina, and she said that she had seen me at the festival a couple times yesterday, but she was too shy to come up and say hello to me or something like that. And I was so sad, and I was like, oh, I really wish you would have. Well, today, this is so weird, and like such, like, I don't personally believe in chance. I feel like every part of my life is directed by providence. I mean, I believe in free will. I believe that we make our own choices, but I also believe that there are things that are ordained by God. That's part of my worldview or belief system. And something like that happened today because my husband and I, we usually go to church. So we used to go to church 45 minutes away where our son Ian leads worship. But 3 months ago, we decided to start going to our local campus again because Brad and I are both involved in ministries there, and the campus is growing. So there's more people coming in. We wanted to be able to meet these people because we're involved in ministries. And so we thought that was important. Plus, it's like a 15-minute drive from our house. And so we've been going to our local campus. Well, today we decided we were going to go to the campus my son leads worship at. So we drove out there, and afterwards we were both hungry. So I'm like, let's go out to lunch, because the town that the church is in is a super cute town. It's a college town. There's lots of restaurants to choose from. So we walked to the Mexican restaurant that was like a couple blocks from the church, and it was closed. It didn't open until noon, and it was like 11. And so then we're like, he was on the phone with his mom, so we're kind of standing around waiting, and then I'm like, let's go to the Mediterranean place. So we start walking towards the Mediterranean place. And then something makes me turn around. And I turn around and I see this woman and this man walking probably 50 to 75 feet behind us. And I was like, is that Gina? Because when she had left that message on my Instagram account, I went to her account to look her up. And I recognized her because I had seen her from a distance yesterday, and she had this really pretty blue ranunculus on. And I remembered thinking, oh, I love that color. That's so pretty. Anyway, so I turned around and I saw her, and I was like, I think that might be Gina. And so I said, Gina? And it was Gina. And this is so weird. So she's like, Amber, that's you. So she comes running over and we hug and everything. But the really weird thing is that Gina lives out in like towards the other side of Pennsylvania. Okay. Pennsylvania is a long state. If you would drive from one end to the other, I think it's like 6 hours to get from one end to the other. All right. So it's a larger state. She lives on towards the other side, and she had come in for this festival. Her and her husband had come in, and they were staying in the area where the church is that my son leads worship at. Her and her husband were going out for like a brunch or breakfast. So they happened to be in town, walking down the sidewalk behind my husband and I. It was just it was like, this is so not a coincidence. And they were just going to get some breakfast before they headed back. And so it was like so crazy. So then we stood there and we talked. I don't know. It was a long time, maybe 30 minutes, 35. I lost track, but it was just so sweet. And she was so sweet. And it was just, I just was like, thank you, God. Cause that was it was so nice to meet her. And I was truly bummed that she hadn't come up to me yesterday, cause I really enjoyed meeting people yesterday. And it was really sweet. So I asked her if I could take a picture with her, which I don't always do, but I could kind of tell from the way that she was talking that she was going to be okay with that, because she also had shown me a picture she posted on her Instagram a picture of her with Rachel and Renee from Table 10 podcast, because they were there as well yesterday. And so I asked her and we got a picture together. I am really funny with asking people to take pictures with me. I have done it before, but I don't want to make anyone feel pressured or uncomfortable. And yeah. So anyway, that was such a good, unexpected little thing that happened this morning after church. Well, what do you say we go get this all skeined up into cakes so that I can get casting on and add even more whips to my whip pile. So this is my shelf of hand spun yarn, and I want to find the perfect skein to go with this skein of yarn from Flower Hill Fleeces. A lot of them are just not going to be a high enough contrast. I kind of narrowed it down to these 3. And then I chose this one. I think this will be perfect. It's got some purples and greens and pinks. Yeah, that's the one. Right away, I decided to cast on the Creativity Cowl. This is a pattern by Tori Knits NYC. I am super happy with this combination that I chose. I am loving working with the yarn I got from Jody's farm, and I think I did a pretty good job in picking the contrast color. It is a very chilly fall day today, so of course I have my hand knit socks, and I decided to wear some autumnal colors, including my yellow Felix cardigan. I have these colorwork mittens. This is a pattern from Fox and Folk. I will have to leave it down below because I cannot remember the name of this pattern off the top of my head, but I knit these fingerless mitts quite a while ago, and they are a favorite for Lily and I. So I've had these cute little linen sample squares laying around for several months that I wanted to kind of put together into a patchwork type project. So I went down into my studio last night and was playing around with some different color combinations, and I was able to make 3 different 9 square patchworks. Then I went back down this morning and I did a little bit of reconfiguring and came up with a slightly different variation. I have made so much progress on my creativity cowl. This has been such a fun and kind of addicting project to work on, and I'm sure the yarn has something to do with that as well. I'm gonna wrap up this vlog now. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. I hope you found some inspiration and found a little bit of coziness as you came along with me on these beautiful fall days.